Hi, my name is Evie. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to answer this question really quickly. As someone who has lost over 100 pounds, as someone who has had a lot of experience over the last 21 years of shifting dynamics in relationships as a result of losing weight and shifting dynamics in my identity as a result of losing weight. So the first part of the question is, why do people who have lost weight change or start acting differently? I believe that one, I think because of media and messaging and movies and TV, society sends a message to people who are larger that they have to be the best friend. They have to be the helper. They don't get to be the main character. They are the supporting character. They're in the supporting character role. And so I think when people start losing weight and those dynamics start to shift, the way that other people are treating them then shifts the way that they are able to move through the world. Where they may have been, a people pleaser or very nice or very welcoming or deferential, self-deprecating, they don't have to do that anymore. And I think that shift can be disorienting at first. I think, especially for me in the beginning, the sudden increase in visibility, while sometimes complimentary, was also a bit jarring. As someone who didn't mind being invisible, who actually appreciated it, becoming suddenly visible, becoming the object of desirability, especially in a way that sometimes meant that I was unsafe, it did change the way that I moved through the world. Now I need to move through the world with my guard up a little bit. I need to move through the world with boundaries. I have some trust issues maybe because people that I knew last year are treating me completely differently than they are this year. And that's giving me pause. Like, who are you for real? Who do you think I am for real? Because I'm the same person. Not recognizing that I probably wasn't the same person because of all of these changing things. I think our identities and our personalities and personas are a lot more dynamic or shiftable or squishy than we think that they are. They are not as solid as we think that they are. I think our identities and personas and personalities are a reflection of where we live, where we work, who our friends are, and other aspects of our life. And you shift one of those things, especially if more than one of those things, and you change who we are and how we relate to the world. And I think example of that everyone can relate to is 2020 and how we all changed and shifted during that time and after that time. I don't know anybody, especially me, who is the same person as they were pre-2020. Because when the world changes, when where you work changes, where you live changes, your circle of friends changes, your outlook, you change. How you relate to the world changes. And so I believe that people who lose weight, they change because the world changes toward them. Because we live in a society that is so focused on appearance and desirability and attractiveness and thinness in some cases, when a person fits more easily or fits into the margins of what is deemed to be attractive, what is deemed to be thin, what is deemed to be desirable, the world shifts towards them. And therefore, they adapt, they adjust to those shifts. Whether they know it or not, whether it's intentional or not, sometimes those shifts and adjustments are not necessarily positive, especially as perceived from the world outside of them, because whereas they were invisible before, being visible now means I need to move with some boundaries, with some awareness. Because before I was just out here just moving around the world, just la-di-da-di-da, and I can't do that anymore because that can be dangerous for me as I move through the world now. The second part of the question is, why do people change toward you when you lose weight? So it took me a long time to realize this and to accept it and also be okay with it. Because who we are and how we move through the world, a lot of times is dependent on how the world allows us to move through the world. Once the world allows us to move through the world differently, we change and our roles change in people's lives. And I think whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of times people are in our lives because of the purposes that they serve for us, the comforts, the benefits that we get from them. We aren't always solely friends or loved ones or in people's lives because of who they are. And in this instance, who that person is changing. So not only are you not benefiting from them in the way that you once did, but you also, the things that you liked about them have changed and are changing. Maybe they're not as nice as they used to be before because now they have to have a guard up. Maybe they aren't as willing to do certain things that you enjoy because it interferes with what they now prioritize and what they now value. Sometimes a lot of people like to say, oh, they're a hater, they're jealous or whatever, which can be the case, but I think more often than not, it's disorienting for someone to change around you because I think when they change, sometimes it makes other people question like, well, if they're not that anymore, what does that mean about me? Especially if people in your circle also struggle with their weight. And so while some people might find it to be inspiring and motivational, like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. I think other people, when you start to make changes, it makes people question, well, do I need to make this change? Or why are you doing that? And it makes people question things about themselves, which is weird when people make things that you do for yourself about them, which is a whole nother issue, another video, and another thing that I think is prevalent and becoming a lot in the society where people make things that you do in your life about them. Be that as it may, it is a thing and a reason that I believe that people start acting differently towards people or towards you when you lose weight. And so I think the point of me making this video is to hopefully provide some clarity, some understanding, and hopefully inspire people to be more thoughtful, more curious, more compassionate when someone changes, especially if they lose a lot of weight or otherwise change their appearance, about why are they changing and not just consider how it impacts you, but what are they going through? What are they dealing with? Is there some way that I can be there for them in a way that maybe I wasn't there for them before, rather than just writing them off and thinking like, oh, they think they're better now. A lot of times we project our own feelings about somebody onto them. So as like I just said, when people say, oh, she's too good to be my friend now, no, that's your belief. That's not necessarily that person's belief. They want to have the same relationship in some cases that they had before. But now when you start acting all weird, what choice do I have than to adjust or adapt to that? I no longer trust that you can be the person that you've been to me because now you're moving differently. So I hope this video helped somebody. I hope that it provided some clarity and hopefully gave you some, I guess, compassion, sympathy for people in your life who may be going through a transformation, be that weight loss or glow up or any kind of transformation of some sort, in the ways that we change and the ways that we feel about other people changing in our lives. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you'll come back and watch more. I make videos about health and wellness, weight loss, hair, life, and aging, and things like that. So hopefully you'll subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you next time. Bye.